LPT, if you are a student and are moving into a new leased house, take a picture of every wall, closet, cupboard and furniture. That goes for everybody who rents a place, not just students. Where I live, it is common practice that you and your new landlord meet at the apartment, look around together and take pictures, so that the state of the place is officially recorded for both parties. Then you sign a form and get the keys. Greatly reduces arguments over that kind of stuff. You're going to put Judge Judy and people's court out of business. Smart post. Has this not always been just standard? I've been a renter for 16 years now. Have probably lived in 10 different houses. And every single one we have met with the landlord or property management rep and taken pics around the house together. The last few properties actually emailed me a full report including all the photos they took with an option to upload my own. So we had a single spot to look at both parties' photos. My first apartment 14 years ago, me and my roommate were young and dumb. Our landlord raked us over the coals. He made both of us pay him the $1.400 deposit and the place wasn't perfect but first place alone. So we were pumped. Someone broke in and he refused to fix the door. And the upstairs water broke in the washer and just fucked one of our rooms up. The dude kept both our deposits and said we caused the water damage and the kicked in door. So he will keep the deposit. Dude was lame. Generally, when you rent a place you are in the care of it and any damage will be your responsibility, regardless of who does it. Things that are not your responsibility are normal wear and tear, age-related failure, acts of nature, and damage caused by a material defect. You need to document everything when dealing with a rental. When the property owner was told about things, what was done to mitigate damage such as a water leak. You should also check with local regulations to see how much you can be charged for a damaged deposit and what can be charged against it. If you feel that you are being taken advantage of or the property owner is not fulfilling their duties, you can start a grievance. Both renters and property owners have legal rights and obligations under the law. It is always important to know what these are. Remember, he who has the most documentation wins. Well, not always, but it should be that way. You should repost and take out student. This is essential for everyone who rents. And don't just take pictures. Take a slow moving video of the entire place. Even when your place is spotless, after you move out, the landlord may try to take your security deposit anyway and take the gamble that you won't sue him/her. I've had that happen even with landlords who were very nice to me and seemed like upstanding citizens. Actually a good idea for people to do, even if they own a home. It's really helpful for cataloging your personal property in an insurance claim should you lose your home in a catastrophe. The juvenile username to mature insight ratio is strong with this one. The username is polite, at least. He needs to put a please at least. Once you've taken those pics, zip them and email them to your landlord. That way, if they challenge you, you have dated photos. Recently saved me my deposit from a reputable company that way. Yeah, it's not clear to me which way it should be. Email them to the landlord right away, or email to yourself, and only email to landlord at the end of the lease in case landlord tries to scam you. It feels like, if you email to yourself, you're trying to catch the landlord red-handed, at lease end, trying to scam you. Do we really want to do that? Is there any other reason email to yourself is better? I have no interest in catching the landlord red-handed. I'd rather the landlord sees the pictures right away and doesn't even attempt to scam at the end of the lease. I don't know why anyone would email to themselves and not the landlord. When I moved in, I emailed my landlord photos of any damages as well as a scan of the move-in checklist. Then, I requested that they reply and confirm receipt of my email. I don't expect them to try anything as it's an apartment complex with good reviews. But I've learned my lesson. This works great if your landlord isn't trying to do this to anyone anyway. But why not, sire, and hold the pics? Sending them ahead of time does nothing unless you take another set of pics at move out. Not op, but it might act as a scam deterrent. This person seems wise to the security deposit scam game. Probably shouldn't try to rip them off. Apostrophe. I got a crazy true story about this bullshit. Girl I know was moving out and spent weeks making sure she did everything she could to get her security deposit back. gave the place back in better condition than when she got it. She lost the security deposit when the landlord found dead bugs in the ceiling fan light coverings. Bruh, it's literally nature-like. 100% for any tenants. The inventory clerks always take generic wide-angle photos on move-in. Nothing close up. On checkout they are basically there with magnifying lens, zooming in, using bright flashes, so dusty TC can be seen. If you can be present for your inventory then do so. Check tops of frames, doorways. Look for watermarks in the sink and taps. Check the cleanliness inside of the oven, fridge/freezer. Check for cracked shelves as well. Make sure everything is recorded by the clerk, because they don't check these things at move-in, but will definitely check them at move-out. Get your own photos anyway, and for extra security email them to your landlord or agent, especially if there is an issue. Don't throw away anything without getting confirmation in writing. Rather store it to take back out when you leave. I have worked as a property manager for years, and still call my tenants, before they move out, to go over the finer points of cleaning the place etc. I've also been a tenant for years and I've never lost £1 on checkout, but that's because I know the tricks. There are tricks and there are predatory landlord/leasing agencies. Sometimes you're out of luck if your state/county doesn't have sufficient protections for renters. I'm from the UK and the tenants definitely have more protection legally, but you still require proof, which is why I suggest making sure you attend the inventory and check out if you can. Your property manager who is raising your charges may have never even seen your property, and the reports aren't compiled by the agency or landlord. They have to be done by third-party independent inventory clerks. I was charged £150 plus in cleaning costs, because there was a fly dead in the kitchen worktop, dust on a door frame and a drawer had crumbs in. Also a curtain was ripped ever so slightly. The inventory clerks found this out. The landlord made up the prices. The legal system halved the bill. But still an absolute con. You must have been fuming. We have to propose charges, but a landlord must approve these. Sometimes they want to add charges that are grossly unfair, and we have to argue them down as well. Landlords will have a brand new property, then rent it to one tenant for 2 or 3 years, and expect it to be brand new again. They want to charge the tenant to repaint the whole flat because of scuff marks, or buy a new sofa cause there's a scratch or a stain. They don't understand fair wear and tear or the fact that betterment is illegal. They just want the property back in exactly the same condition. Even had one landlord throw a major hissy got because his tea towels were gone, and a couple of glasses were broken after a tenant lived in the property for 4 years. Tenants got new tea towels, but the landlords were from Debenhams, so he still wasn't happy, and the replacement glasses meant he didn't have matching set. He ended up disinstructing us because we refused to go against the regulations. Also, as a student, many landlord companies and people are aware that this is probably your first house, and they will also assume you don't know your laws/rights. When I went through college leasing houses, almost every landlord tried to make me pay for things or take my security deposit when there were local and state laws that protected me for things they had to do anyways, like charging for replacing fire alarms. So don't be afraid to question your landlord on things like this. They might be just trying to screw you. If you email yourself the video, you will have solid proof of date and time. If you go to court, adding it. Emails are just text files that can be easily edited. Dates changed. They probably aren't proper proof or evidence. The only technique I'm aware to confirm the validity of the date is to mail yourself a hard copy of documents/photos, and then have a lawyer/notary/judge open the letter/package. This isn't right. The email receipt and other metadata is stored on the server. It sounds to me like you are making S up. Use SIM up and you can edit all email headers. Exactly this. Former leasing agent here, and this is great advice. I'd add also, when you move out, take a picture of everything. That way if they claim damage, you have your own evidence of how you left the unit. This is what I do, but I take a walkthrough video of before and after so they can't say anything. A video walkthrough would work as well. Adding that video helps in any rental situation, including rental cars. I once had a car rented for my brother and I to take on a road trip. On a hunch I videographed the entire outside of the car before taking the keys. Sure enough, when we returned there trying to claim damages, I pulled out my phone and showed them the existing damages from when we picked up the car. They backtracked and didn't fight it anymore. So yeah, cover your and video everything. Pictures are good, but I also take video of me touring the house so that it's all contained in a single file, and then you can have commentary as you go through to mention things that are already messed up. To add to this, upload these photos to Google Photos or some other cloud service. By the time you leave your lease you may not have the same phone